recent years, a peculiar phenomenon has captured the attention of both amateur meteorologists and the public: square-shaped cloud formations. These unusual, seemingly geometric clouds have been observed in various parts of the world, and their strikingly unnatural appearance has led to numerous theories and debates about their origin and meaning. From weather interference and atmospheric anomalies to UFO activity and digital glitches, the mystery behind these square-shaped clouds remains unsolved. Square-shaped clouds are exactly what they sound like: clouds that form distinct straight-edged shapes, often appearing as perfect or nearly perfect squares. This is a striking departure from the natural, organic, and often chaotic forms that clouds typically take. These formations have been spotted over oceans, deserts, and cities, leading to widespread speculation and a wave of viral photos and videos on social media. Unlike other cloud formations, which are shaped by atmospheric conditions such as wind, temperature, and humidity, these square clouds stand out because of their apparent artificiality. Meteorologists note that it is rare, if not impossible, for natural atmospheric processes to create straight lines and right angles in cloud structures. Despite this, sightings continue to emerge, with observers expressing shock and curiosity at the sharp edges and uniformity of these clouds. One of the most popular theories regarding square-shaped clouds is the idea that they could be the result of weather interference. Another explanation within this theory is the use of advanced technology. One such location is a research initiative funded by the U.S. government that focuses on studying the ionosphere. Critics point out that while some explanations may account for clouds with slightly straighter edges, it fails to explain the perfectly square or rectangular clouds that have been photographed around the world. In nature, clouds are subject to chaotic forces, and the likelihood of them forming precise right-angled shapes without some form of intervention seems highly unlikely. Some researchers suggest that these clouds might be the result of air traffic or military activity. The idea is that aircraft or military jets could be emitting chemicals or condensation trails that align with atmospheric conditions to create square shapes. Given the mysterious nature of square-shaped clouds and their departure from traditional cloud formations, it is no surprise that UFO theories have emerged as well. Some researchers speculate that these geometric clouds could be concealing unidentified flying objects or extraterrestrial technology. This theory suggests that UFOs might be using advanced cloaking devices that manipulate the atmosphere around them, creating square-shaped clouds as camouflage. Another theory that has gained traction is the idea that some of these square cloud sightings could be the result of digital glitches or photographic distortions. This explanation suggests that the sharp angles and straight lines in some images of square clouds could be products of camera technology rather than physical phenomena. While this theory could account for a portion of the sightings, it does not explain cases where multiple eyewitnesses have reported seeing the square shapes with their own eyes independent of photographic evidence. An interesting post has just been submitted to the subreddit UFOs, and it's being hailed as one of the best pieces of evidence that we have of an unidentified submerged object. The post was submitted by Reddit user ZJ223, and it detailed their encounter with something mysterious 10 miles off the coast of Florida. The poster commented the following: "I understand this is not technically a UFO because it was seen in the water. I work on a research vessel. Recently, we had a trip studying bioluminescence in the Gulf of Mexico. Around 11:45 in the evening, we were conducting research as normal when a science party member saw a strange light about a quarter-mile off our stern. We immediately started to make our way towards the light. The intensity of the light was quite astonishing. Nobody in the crew or the science party knew what to make of it. At first, we thought it could have been a sunken vessel or a navigation buoy of some kind that sank. We proceeded to get as close as possible to the light, and eventually we hovered directly on top of it. Our vessel has a moon pool in the center, where the crew and science party were able to carefully observe the light from directly on top. We used a subsurface camera to attempt and capture what the object may have been. The science party on board automatically ruled out the light being produced by bioluminescent phytoplankton. This light source was 100% on the bottom of the ocean and not something that was floating through the water column. It did not move in the current. The water depth at this specific location was 60 feet deep. As we hovered on top of the light, we used an EK-80 sonar to provide us with an image of the ocean floor at this location. To our surprise, This object producing the light did not have a physical shape that we could detect. It was invisible to our sonar. The sonar is also capable of imaging objects that are below the seafloor, objects that could be partially submerged in the mud, and objects that could be as small as 3 inches in length and width. Consider the strength of the light having to shine through 60 feet of water, and being strong enough for us to observe from a considerable distance away. There was definitely an arc of visibility that seemed to be brighter when viewed from further away than top down. I added some more videos here, and I've been scanning through all of your comments. I'll try to respond to most of them with this comment. There are some people who are questioning the validity of my photos and objects in the photo. Let me preface this by stating some facts from our research cruise back in February. Our research vessel was chartered by a group of scientists from a college in Florida. The chief scientist who sailed with us has been studying bioluminescence his whole career and even made mentions of how the Navy used research of bioluminescence in the past to detect Russian subs deep underwater. The chief scientist is a PhD and his primary graduate study was in bioluminescence. This location we were studying bioluminescence at when we saw the object had very low concentrations of bioluminescent phytoplanktons. We were at the point of calling it quits for the night and moving to the next site entirely. When the boat gets chartered out by scientists, they provide all the gear, and the mission of this trip was to study bioluminescence. So, naturally, they bring cameras and equipment to photograph bioluminescence at the surface. The vessel is not equipped with anything more than whatever the scientists decide to bring. Dropping a traditional camera in the water without the correct protective housing would cause the camera to break. We did not have any gear to send down a camera 60 feet. The most logical explanation at first would be bioluminescence. According to the PhD chief scientist, he immediately declared it was not bioluminescence after viewing the object using the camera equipment that was attached to the ship. When we consider bioluminescence, remember that organisms such as phytoplanktons and small jellyfish don't know the species name. Forgive Metrovel in the currents throughout the water column. This makes them move within the water. The object we were observing was completely still for our entire length of observation. It did not move at all. Let me throw in a personal opinion. That is not based on fact. Okay, let's say it was bioluminescence for the sake of argument. I want to know, how was the luminosity of it so bright that we saw it from over 1,000 feet away, plus 60 feet down? Especially after making the deduction that the object was more than likely sitting on the ocean floor, and why wasn't it moving with the ocean currents? It appeared as it was anchored or stationary in one position. Which brings me to my next point. How do we know the object was on the ocean floor? Well, it's just an assumption. We don't know where it actually was in the water column. Logic might make us think that whatever the object is, it carries mass. Gravity would naturally pull it down. So that is the basis of the assumption it was on the bottom. Unfortunately, I cannot provide anyone here with documents to prove that the scientists have the credentials they do or any of that. It's just my word. I didn't share the post on the internet immediately because honestly it was cool, but I don't care to post on social media. I'm a mariner. I spend years of my life on a boat on the ocean. Every so often, I see things that defy explanation. I've seen lights flying at unrealistically high speeds a couple hundred feet off the water. I've seen lights in the night sky form weird shapes and fly away. None of that stuff I took pictures of, but they eventually become sea stories I share with friends and family. I truly hope this explains things for most of you. Looking forward to continuing the conversation and formulating ideas on what it may be. Location of the sighting was 10 miles west of Caladesi Island, Clearwater Beach, Florida. End quote. From reported encounters observed by American submarines to mysterious humanoid beings purportedly residing within the profound waters of Russian lakes emerges a lesser-known counterpart of unidentified aerial phenomena, the USO, also known as unidentified submerged object. Numerous accounts of unidentified submerged objects have surfaced globally, frequently originating from esteemed military and scholarly experts. Some individuals assert that underwater fast movers constitute a regular occurrence within the confines of submarines, shedding light on a phenomenon that remains a mystery to many. These reports not only intrigue the scientific community, but also spark curiosity among the public regarding the existence of such anomalies. Nigel Watson highlighted the notion that our Earth is predominantly covered by vast water bodies, which explains why unidentified flying objects are frequently witnessed hovering above or near the immense stretches of water that envelop our planet. This observation sheds light on the intriguing correlation between UFO sightings and the aquatic nature of our world, suggesting a plausible connection between the two phenomena. During the late 60s, an increased number of unidentified flying objects were reported to have been sighted frequently around the Guantanamo Bay military base. The former Marine expressed surprise at the abundance of unidentified flying object sightings occurring over and around the military base. According to the witness, fellow Marines were astounded by the frequency of UFO activity in the vicinity. On a regular basis, practically nightly occurrences involved unidentified flying objects traversing the sky at heights measuring under 300 feet. The majority of these unidentified flying objects measured around 50 to 100 feet in diameter. However, when observed with the naked eye, they appeared as indistinct, blurry structures, emitting a faint glow with a diminutive red light following closely behind. The individual from the Marines, who opted to keep their identity confidential during an interview with the paranormal observation platform, the Mutual UFO Network, expressed uncertainty regarding the specific dates of the incident. The interviewee, belonging to the Marine Corps, was hesitant to disclose personal details while discussing the encounter with the Paranormal Events website. The Marine alleges receiving specific instructions prohibiting him from sharing details about the sightings. Furthermore, he recounted encountering a single unidentified flying object that bore resemblance to a majestic cloud illuminated by a pulsating blend of blue and white lights. A professor has asserted that a vessel, surpassing the velocity of sound, swiftly passed in close proximity to the USS Hampton submarine, creating a whizzing effect as it traversed the water. Professor Bob McGuire, who is affiliated with Virginia Tech and the Institute for Defense Analyses, reported that the vessel's integrated sonar system picked up an unidentified submerged object in motion underwater, surpassing the speed of sound. This groundbreaking revelation sheds light on the advanced capabilities of the craft's detection technology. While aboard the submarine, McGuire engaged in confidential operations. He mentioned that the crew consciously chose not to probe further into the unusual incident to maintain their mission's priority. However, they did not explicitly instruct him to refrain from discussing the peculiar encounter. The submarine's occupants refrained from delving into the matter to uphold their focus on the task at hand, implying a commitment to their duties above all else. Unidentified submerged objects have long piqued the curiosity and fascination of researchers, enthusiasts, and the general public, sparking a sense of wonder and mystery. These intriguing occurrences, commonly referred to as unidentified objects or vessels that navigate stealthily and skillfully beneath the water's surface without leaving a trace or a viable explanation, have been documented across a broad spectrum of the world's oceans, lakes, and rivers. Despite skeptics attempting to attribute such accounts to myths or misinterpretations, the sheer abundance and consistency of reported sightings worldwide underscore the need for a thorough and meticulous examination of USOs. The persistent presence of these unexplained underwater phenomena demands not only acknowledgement but also rigorous investigation to unravel their strange nature and potential implications. USOs, or unidentified submerged objects, share a remarkable resemblance with UFOs commonly sighted hovering above the Earth's skies. The mystery surrounding these mysterious occurrences mirrors the intrigue evoked by UFO sightings, sparking debates on potential extraterrestrial involvement and cutting-edge aviation technologies. Delving deeper into the realm of USO encounters raises profound queries regarding the essence and genesis of these hidden anomalies. While certain hypotheses speculate on their extraterrestrial genesis, alternative theories advocate for more grounded interpretations, including clandestine military maneuvers, yet to be explored natural phenomena, or even ancient civilizations residing beneath the ocean's depths. The vast expanses of the ocean, which cover around 71% of the Earth's surface and hold depths that are mostly uncharted, create a perfect setting for harboring mysterious occurrences like unidentified submerged objects. Throughout history, there have been numerous documented accounts of USO sightings with reports spanning centuries and recounting encounters relayed by sailors, fishermen, and naval personnel. These encounters often depict peculiar underwater entities that showcase extraordinary abilities. Witnesses describe USOs as having the uncanny capability of swiftly accelerating, making abrupt directional changes, and effortlessly navigating through substantial depths, features that challenge traditional explanations rooted in known human technology. The allure of the deep ocean continues to fascinate and mystify, inviting exploration and prompting speculation about the mysteries concealed within its aquatic depths. One intriguing aspect regarding unidentified submerged objects lies in their affiliations with areas renowned for extensive maritime activities and oceanic mysteries. Particularly, the Bermuda Triangle, a sector within the western expanse of the North Atlantic Ocean, has garnered significant attention for its suggested involvement in a multitude of aircraft and vessel vanishings. Besides accounts of UFO sightings hovering over the Bermuda Triangle, there exist reports of USOs either surfacing from or submerging into the waters within this mystifying realm. Despite skeptics attributing the incidents within the Bermuda Triangle to natural occurrences or human miscalculations, advocates of the USO phenomena highlight these events as indications of an unknown force lurking beneath the oceanic depths. This unresolved mystery continues to captivate many individuals worldwide as they ponder the potential existence of undiscovered phenomena existing below the surface of our planet's waters, evoking curiosity and speculation surrounding the hidden facets of the marine domain. Various parts of the world, not just the notorious Bermuda Triangle, have been linked to unidentified submerged object activities. One such area is the waters surrounding Japan, specifically referred to as the Dragon's Triangle or the Devil's Sea. This region has witnessed numerous documented sightings of USOs. Echoing the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle, the Dragon's Triangle shares a history of maritime accidents and puzzling occurrences. These events have prompted discussions and theories regarding the potential existence of hidden underwater anomalies within this mysterious expanse. Advances in technology have facilitated a more organized and thorough investigation of unidentified submerged object reports by researchers. They utilize a range of sophisticated tools like underwater sonar, remote-operated vehicles, and deep-sea submersibles to delve into the depths of the ocean floor, aiming to uncover any submerged objects. While numerous expeditions have uncovered intriguing discoveries, including unidentified structures and peculiarities on the seabed, confirming the existence of USOs continues to elude definitive evidence. The presence of unidentified submerged objects gives rise to thought-provoking inquiries regarding the essence of these occurrences and their potential repercussions on our comprehension of the oceanic realm and the broader world. Should USOs truly exist, the questions surrounding their origins and underlying purposes become paramount. Could they signify the existence of sophisticated underwater civilizations, antiquated technologies, or undiscovered species of marine life? Delving deeper into these mysteries entails exploring the intricate web of possibilities and implications associated with USOs, evoking a deep-seated curiosity about the unseen realms lurking beneath the waves. The exploration of unidentified submerged objects sheds light on the myriad challenges involved in delving into and comprehending the profound realms of the ocean which persist as one of the ultimate frontiers on our planet. With the continuous evolution of our technological prowess, our capacity to probe and record the mystery of the abyss deepens correspondingly. Whether USOs ultimately emerge as of interstellar origin, natural occurrences, or man-made relics, their presence acts as a poignant indicator of the limitless mysteries concealed beneath the ocean's surface worldwide, poised to be explored and comprehended. The study of USOs serves as a testament to the ceaseless fascination and insatiable quest for knowledge that drive humanity's exploration of the oceanic depths. In the vast expanse of the Nevada desert, there lies a place of mystery and intrigue, the Tonopah Test Range. Known for its association with classified military activities and rumored extraterrestrial encounters, this remote desert facility has long captured the imaginations of people. It was against this backdrop that one online user, an amateur archaeologist and self-proclaimed explorer of the unknown, found himself drawn to the mysteries of the Tonopah Test Range. Armed with little more than a laptop and an internet connection, the man reported that he spent countless hours scouring satellite imagery of the Nevada desert in search of anomalies that might hint at hidden secrets beneath the surface. It was during one of these late-night browsing sessions that he stumbled upon something truly remarkable. A pyramid-shaped structure nestled amidst the desolate terrain of the Tonopah Test Range. At first glance it appeared to be nothing more than a trick of light and shadow, a mirage conjured by the harsh desert sun. But as he zoomed in closer, he realized that what he had discovered was no mere illusion. It was a solid black pyramid, its geometric form unmistakable against the backdrop of the desert landscape. Excited by his discovery, he set out to learn more about the mysterious structure he had uncovered. Using satellite imagery and topographical maps, he carefully plotted his course, determined to reach the pyramid and unlock the secrets it held within. However, he quickly realized that due to its location he would never be able to get close to it, and so he decided to upload photographs of it to social media. Interestingly, occurrences of mysterious objects in the desert have been noted before, prompting speculation that these vast barren areas serve as ideal sites for experimental activities. The idea that deserts are conducive environments for conducting experiments has triggered discussions and theories among researchers and enthusiasts. Military installations in deserts are often regarded as ideal locations for conducting secretive experiments away from the prying eyes of the public for several compelling reasons. These barren, uninhabited expanses offer a level of seclusion and security that is difficult to replicate in more densely populated areas, making them well-suited for the clandestine activities of military and government agencies. Firstly, the vast and desolate nature of deserts provides a natural barrier against unwanted intrusion. With vast stretches of arid land devoid of significant human habitation, deserts offer a degree of isolation and concealment that is crucial for keeping sensitive operations under wraps. And this isolation minimizes the risk of accidental exposure or interference from civilians, journalists, or competing nations, allowing military installations to operate with a greater degree of secrecy and autonomy. Moreover, the harsh environmental conditions of deserts serve as a deterrent to unauthorized access. Extreme temperatures, shifting sand dunes, and rugged terrain make deserts inhospitable and challenging to navigate without proper equipment and training. As a result, potential trespassers are deterred from attempting to breach the perimeter of military installations, further enhancing the security and confidentiality of the facilities. Additionally, the remote location of desert installations affords greater control over access and surveillance. Military bases situated in deserts often have well-defined perimeters secured by fencing, checkpoints, and surveillance technology, allowing authorities to monitor and control entry and exit points with precision. This enables military personnel to screen individuals and vehicles entering the installation, mitigating the risk of unauthorized personnel gaining access to sensitive areas. Furthermore, the expansive and open terrain of deserts provides ample space for conducting large-scale experiments and test flights without interference. Whether testing new weapon systems, conducting training exercises, or experimenting with advanced technologies, military installations in deserts offer the freedom and flexibility to operate without constraints imposed by urban development or airspace restrictions. This expansive testing ground allows military agencies to push the boundaries of innovation and explore cutting-edge capabilities in a controlled environment. Moreover, the remote and isolated nature of desert installations minimizes the risk of collateral damage or public scrutiny in the event of accidents or mishaps. In the event of an unforeseen incident, such as a test failure or equipment malfunction, the sparsely populated surroundings of deserts reduce the likelihood of harm to civilians or damage to civilian infrastructure, thereby mitigating the potential fallout and public backlash. Lastly, the secrecy surrounding military installations in deserts serves to protect classified information and maintain strategic advantage. By conducting experiments and operations away from public scrutiny, military agencies can safeguard sensitive technologies, tactics, and intelligence from adversaries seeking to gain an edge. This clandestine approach allows military installations to maintain a veil of secrecy around their activities, preserving the element of surprise and strategic ambiguity crucial for national security. The Madison County Sheriff's Office posted the following on social media. The Madison County Sheriff's Office is investigating the passing and mutilation of cattle along Saucer. Ranchers reported that a 6-year-old Longhorn Cross cow had been found lying on her side, deceased, and disfigured on their ranch. A straight, clean cut with apparent precision had been made to remove the hide around the cow's mouth on one side, leaving the meat under the removed hide untouched. The tongue was also completely removed from the body with no blood spill. It was noted there were no signs of struggle, and the grass around the cow was undisturbed. No footprints or tire tracks were noted in the area. Ranchers also reported that no predators or birds would scavenge the remains of the cow, leaving it to decay untouched for several weeks. While looking into the Longhorn Cross's passing, 5 other similar occurrences involving 4 adult cows and 1 yearling were reported along the area of OSR running into Brazos County, as well as Robertson County. Each incident occurred in different locations, pastures, and herds. The other cows were found in the same condition, lying on one side with the exposed side of their face cut along the jawline and the tongue, once again completely removed. On 2 of the 5 cows, a circular cut was made removing the insides. This circular cut was made with the same precision as the cuts noted around the jawlines of each cow. Just like the first, there were no signs of struggle or disturbance in the grass, no blood spill, and no noticeable tracks. No predators or birds would scavenge the remains for several weeks after the animals passed. The cause of the expirations of all 6 cows remains unknown. Multiple similar incidents have been reported across the United States, and we are actively coordinating with other agencies to find answers. Please notify the Madison County Sheriff's Office if you or someone you know observes any similar occurrences. End quote. Cattle mutilation is a phenomenon in which cattle and other livestock are found in mysterious circumstances, often with their insides removed or mangled in a precise and surgical manner. This has been a topic of debate and controversy for several decades, with many speculating that advanced beings or secret government agencies are responsible for the mutilations. Oddly enough, many of these instances happen within the span of a few hours, with ranchers and eyewitnesses reporting that no human could have done this in such a short time span. One of the first reported cases dates back to the late 1960s in the United States. But ranchers have said that these strange events go back even further, and note that it was in the 1960s that the reports were picked up by newspapers. Farmers and ranchers began to notice their livestock passing away in strange ways, saying that in many cases, the animals were found with their udders, tongues, and eyes removed, as well as strange circular marks on their skin. The marks appeared to be cauterized or burned, suggesting the use of some kind of surgical tool. The animals were also found without any signs of struggle or predation, leading to speculation that something otherworldly was responsible. Over the years, several theories have emerged to explain what is happening, with some believing that advanced beings are responsible, using the animals for medical experimentation or to study the effects of Earth's environment. Others believe that the government or military is involved, using the animals to test biological weapons or to experiment with advanced surgical techniques. But those who've studied the phenomenon have said that why would government officials risk getting caught, noting that the government owns private land and that it would be much easier to do this on some government facility rather than sneaking into a random farm? The Upper Ohio River Valley Investigation. The earliest known study into sudden cattle expirations of the modern day began in the state of Ohio back in 1966, when an investigator known as John Keel began to look into a series of unexplainable cases that were recorded around the Upper Ohio River Valley. The cattle seemed to have passed away due to bizarre circumstances that were otherwise impossible to have occurred naturally. Instances of animal autopsies showed that a number of cattle had passed away shortly after falling from a great height, despite the fact that the pastures were wide expanses of flat, endless land, with no heights great enough to have caused the injuries recorded. Other instances noted that the cattle appeared to have been cut up with precision tools that created perfectly straight lines in the livestock in their thick hide that would have required special surgical equipment. A list of consistent findings were the following. Many of the livestock explorations were made with clean surgical cuts that would have required precise tools and equipment. Many of the cattle found had been completely drained of blood, showed no sign of spillage in the surrounding area, or any form of clotting surrounding their wounds. Over 90% of the cattle that was targeted was between the age of 4 to 5 years old. No footprints, spillage, tracks, or evidence of any other animal nearby could be found, including the tracks of the animal that had been found. These discoveries and subsequent livestock investigations stayed within the farming communities for several decades without the general public aware of the events. One theory as to why mysterious aircrafts might be interested in cattle is related to the idea that they are using the animals for scientific research. Many of the body parts that are removed in cattle exploration cases are similar to those that would be taken in a scientific study. For example, the eyes might be removed to study the retina, or the organs might be taken to study the effects of radiation on cells. Some researchers also believe that the explorations are a form of biological sampling in order to study the effects of environmental toxins on the animals, with ranchers saying that strange burn marks have sometimes been found etched into the ground, and that there's been high levels of radiation measured after one of these explorations has happened. Another theory is that the cattle explorations are part of a larger agenda. Some people believe that mysterious aircrafts are interested in cattle because they are using them as a food source. Others believe that the explorations are part of a program where the animals are being genetically altered in some way. Although scientists and researchers have said that there is no concrete evidence to support these claims, as of right now, they remain popular among enthusiasts. Some researchers have also proposed that the explorations may be related to experimentation or surveillance. They suggest that some unknown agency may be testing new technology on cattle or using the animals as part of a surveillance program. While this theory is also largely unsupported, it is not outside the realm of possibility given the history of government experimentation on both animals and humans. The mystery of the Skinwalker Ranch encounter. Skinwalker Ranch is no stranger to the supernatural. In fact, the area is so familiar with the unexplainable that it led to a joint investigation between the privately owned company Bigelow Aerospace and the United States government's military, the Department of Defense. Over a period of about 20 years, a joint investigation was made to uncover the cause of the paranormal, supernatural, and mysterious sightings made across the area and determine whether or not the cause was a threat to national security. This led to the purchasing of a piece of land that would later be referred to as the Skinwalker Ranch due to the region's massive amount of sightings of a mysterious humanoid monster known as the Skinwalker. Interestingly enough, over the 20 years of investigation, a surprising amount of evidence came forward that would help to explain the previously believed paranormal causes into something far more evident of advanced technologies. One of the strangest examples of supernatural encounters from the Gorman family was that of the instantaneous cattle exploration that took place no more than about 20 feet away from them as they fed their livestock. According to the Gorman family, their cattle had been in a small field together with a baby calf resting beside its mother as the cows were being fed. Suddenly, the family claimed that the mother cow began bellowing sadly as it ran in circles with a partial limp that seemed to be a form of temporary paralysis. When the family walked to the cow to see what was wrong, they noticed that the calf had been opened up and picked completely clean with a precision that was more akin to surgical tools, and this happened in the few seconds it took them to walk from the calf down the field 20 feet and then back again. When the researchers investigated the exploration, they found that the hide of the calf was too thick to have been cut by a knife and would have required surgical tools and a large amount of time to have performed the procedure, leaving behind nothing but an untouched head and a skeleton picked completely clean. It's for this reason that some have suggested that a time slip might be happening within this area, pointing out that it's impossible for something like this to be carried out in such little time, saying that the area where this is located is completely open and that they would have seen vehicles or people running away. Oddly enough, although these stories seem like a work of fiction, there's so many ranchers throughout the area that report the same thing and have said that the problem is so bad that it's causing some of them to close down their business. One of the earliest investigations into cattle explorations was conducted in the 1970s by the FBI. The agency was brought in to investigate the exploration of a cow in New Mexico, which was found with its udder removed and completely drained. The FBI conducted an extensive investigation, including collecting physical evidence and interviewing witnesses. However, they were unable to determine the cause of the exploration and concluded that it was likely the result of natural causes or predators. Since then, many other investigations have been conducted into cattle explorations with various organizations trying to find an explanation for the phenomenon. Many prominent organizations have investigated these mysterious events and have concluded that hundreds of cases of cattle explorations are not caused by people playing pranks, and that many of their investigations have suggested that advanced activity may be involved. According to these investigations, many of the cattle explorations they have investigated exhibit strange characteristics that suggest the involvement of advanced beings. These characteristics include the surgical precision of the cuts made on the animals, the apparent lack of blood at the scene, and the absence of tracks or footprints near the site of the exploration. In some cases, witnesses have also reported seeing strange lights or objects in the sky around the time of the exploration. Despite these claims, there is still no conclusive evidence linking cattle exploration to advanced activity or any other cause. Some skeptics suggest that the exploration are simply the work of human pranksters, while others believe that natural causes or predators are responsible. In some cases, it has been suggested that the exploration may be the result of animal testing by private organizations. As investigations into cattle explorations continue, it is clear that there is still much that is unknown about this strange phenomenon. However, the interest in and attention given to these cases have helped to raise awareness of the importance of investigating unexplained phenomena and the need for scientific rigor in such investigations. The ongoing search for answers also underscores the importance of keeping an open mind and considering all possible explanations, no matter how unlikely they may seem. As of right now, cattle explorations remain a mysterious phenomenon that has intrigued and puzzled investigators for decades. While many investigations have been conducted into these cases, the cause of the explorations remains unknown. The involvement of advanced activity has been suggested, but no conclusive evidence has been found to support this theory. As investigations into cattle explorations continue, it is important to approach the phenomenon with an open mind and a commitment to scientific rigor in the hope of one day unraveling the mystery behind these bizarre occurrences. In a world increasingly captivated by the mystery of unidentified flying objects and extraterrestrial technology, a Twitter post by a man named Jerry, who claims to be a NASA engineer, has sparked controversy and debate. Jerry's tweet, made a few hours ago, stated that NASA and the United States government have long known how UFOs operate. However, he added a startling detail. The materials required to build such advanced craft are beyond our current engineering capabilities, as they must be fabricated in zero gravity under extreme temperatures. This single tweet sent ripples through the online community, raising questions about the knowledge held by governments and the scientific community regarding UFOs. Hours after the post gained 101,000 views, Jerry's social media account was suddenly made private, and the tweet disappeared, fueling speculation that he may have been threatened or silenced. Jerry's tweet mentions that they have known for a long time how UFOs work, and the materials needed to build them require zero-gravity environments and extreme temperatures. For the millions of UFO enthusiasts and researchers who scour the internet for signs of disclosure, Jerry's tweet was a bombshell. It suggested that the government and NASA possess not only knowledge about UFOs, but also an understanding of how they function, an understanding that has not been shared with the public. By claiming that the materials needed to replicate these crafts can only be fabricated in zero gravity and under extreme conditions, Jerry alluded to a technological barrier that has prevented humanity from creating such vehicles even if the knowledge exists. The implications of this statement were immense. If true, it would mean that the government and NASA have been aware of extraterrestrial technology for years and have been working to reverse engineer it. However, the challenges presented by Earth's gravity and the necessary extreme temperatures could explain why we have yet to see such technology openly used or disclosed. In the hours following Jerry's tweet, the post gained massive traction, quickly going viral within UFO communities. Users began to screenshot the tweet, fearing it might be deleted, and the hashtag disclosure began trending as people speculated about the truth behind Jerry's claim. However, their suspicions were confirmed sooner than they expected. Approximately 3 hours after the tweet was posted, Jerry's account was set to private, and the original tweet vanished from his profile. Those who had attempted to follow him after the tweet went viral found themselves unable to access his account. While some assumed this might have been a precaution taken by Jerry himself, others speculated that something more sinister was at play. Did Jerry delete the tweet voluntarily, or was he pressured to do so by an external force? The sudden disappearance of Jerry's account and tweet only heightened speculation. On social media platforms like Reddit and Twitter, users suggested that Jerry might have been threatened or forced into silence. This theory gained traction among UFO researchers who argued that the rapid sequence of events was too coincidental to be dismissed. They pointed to similar cases where whistleblowers or individuals claiming insider knowledge on sensitive subjects had suddenly gone silent or faced legal threats. Jerry's claim, if taken at face value, opens up a range of theories about what NASA and the United States government truly know about UFOs. Some proponents of the extraterrestrial hypothesis believe that Jerry's tweet is further evidence that the government has been in possession of UFO technology for decades, dating back to the famous Roswell incident in 1947. They suggest that reverse engineering efforts have been ongoing, but the advanced nature of the materials used in these craft has made it impossible to replicate them with current technology. The idea that materials need to be fabricated in zero gravity aligns with theories that UFOs use propulsion systems and alloys unlike anything available on Earth. According to these theories, some of the materials in question may possess properties that change under different gravitational and thermal conditions, making it impossible to replicate them in Earth's gravity. If NASA and other government agencies have access to these materials, they would need space-based facilities to recreate the conditions under which they could be produced, facilities that may not exist or are not yet advanced enough. Another theory circulating online is that Jerry's tweet was an intentional leak designed to gauge public reaction. Some suggest that NASA or the government might be preparing for eventual disclosure, and that Jerry's tweet could have been an experiment to see how people would respond to the idea of UFO technology being real but unattainable with our current engineering capabilities. However, when the reaction proved too intense or too immediate, the tweet was quickly pulled, and Jerry's account was locked down. Interestingly, the mainstream media has remained largely silent on the topic. Despite the tweet going viral within certain online communities, major news outlets have yet to report on the incident. This has led some to suggest that the media is complicit in hiding information about UFOs and government cover-ups. Others argue that without verifiable credentials or information on Jerry's identity, the story is too speculative for mainstream coverage. Meanwhile, the UFO community is divided. Many enthusiasts and researchers have embraced Jerry's tweet as a sign that disclosure is imminent or that insiders are beginning to leak critical information. They point to the rapid deletion of the tweet as evidence of a cover-up and speculate that Jerry may have been pressured into silence to prevent further dissemination of information. Others, however, remain skeptical. Some argue that without proof of Jerry's identity as a NASA engineer, there is no reason to believe his claims. In the age of misinformation and online pranks, it is easy for anyone to fabricate a backstory and post a provocative tweet to gain attention. The lack of any concrete evidence beyond the tweet itself has led some to dismiss the incident as nothing more than a hoax or publicity stunt. Jerry's tweet, whether authentic or not, highlights the ongoing desire within the public to understand the truth about UFOs and the technology behind them. The rapid dissemination of the tweet and the subsequent speculation surrounding its disappearance demonstrate the hunger for answers and the skepticism toward government transparency. The mystery surrounding Jerry's account leaves more questions than answers. If Jerry's claim is true, then the implications are vast, pointing to decades of secrecy and technological pursuit that has yet to bear fruit. On the other hand, if the tweet was a hoax, it still reflects the deep cultural fascination and belief in UFO phenomena that persists within society. In the aftermath of Jerry's mysterious tweet and its sudden deletion, the online community began drawing parallels between his experience and the stories of other whistleblowers who have come forward in recent years with information about UFOs only to face threats and intimidation. These whistleblowers, many of whom claim to have worked for government agencies or military organizations, have detailed experiences that suggest a concerted effort to silence those who possess knowledge of extraterrestrial phenomena. As Jerry's situation unfolded, these accounts added further weight to the theory that there may be an organized effort to suppress information about UFOs, particularly when it comes to advanced technology and potential government involvement. Over the past decade, multiple whistleblowers have emerged, risking their careers and safety to disclose what they claim to know about UFOs and secret government programs. Some of the most high-profile cases have involved former military personnel, defense contractors, and even NASA employees who have hinted at or directly accused the government of concealing the truth about extraterrestrial activity. One such case involves former Pentagon official Luis Elizondo, who headed the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. Elizondo resigned in 2017, citing the lack of transparency within the Department of Defense regarding UFO encounters. While Elizondo has managed to speak openly about the program and the government's knowledge of UFOs, he has hinted that others who tried to come forward faced more severe repercussions, including threats to their reputations and personal safety. According to Elizondo, some of these individuals were warned to keep silent, and their careers were subsequently derailed when they refused to comply. This aligns with the theory that whistleblowers like Jerry, who reveal too much, may be forced into silence through intimidation tactics. More recently, several military personnel have come forward with their own accounts of UFO encounters and the subsequent threats they faced when attempting to disclose their experiences. Former Air Force personnel have also come forward, claiming that they witnessed UFOs near nuclear facilities. These whistleblowers alleged that they were told not to discuss what they had seen, with some even being forced to sign non-disclosure agreements. In some instances, these individuals have described encounters with unidentified men who visited them after the sightings, warning them to stay quiet. Such reports suggest that a shadowy network may exist to silence those who have direct knowledge of UFO activity, especially when it involves sensitive areas like military bases and nuclear installations. The phenomenon of threats and intimidation is not limited to military personnel. Several civilian employees, including those working for defense contractors and NASA, have shared their experiences of being warned or threatened after revealing what they know about UFOs. Some have described receiving anonymous phone calls, having their phones tapped, or being followed by unmarked vehicles after discussing their work or their encounters. One example involves a former contractor who claimed to have worked on classified aerospace projects. He reported seeing unusual crafts and technology that, to his knowledge, did not belong to any known nation on Earth. After casually mentioning these observations to colleagues, he received a visit from government officials who warned him to stay silent, emphasizing that his clearance and future employment opportunities could be at risk if he continued discussing such topics. This case mirrors the intimidation Jerry might have faced after his tweet, suggesting that this pattern extends beyond the military and into the private sector. Another case involves a former NASA engineer who came forward anonymously in 2019. He claimed that NASA had classified footage and images of unidentified objects captured during space missions, which were never released to the public. According to the engineer, he and his colleagues were told in no uncertain terms that if they ever spoke about what they had seen, their careers would be over. The engineer eventually retired and went public under a pseudonym, claiming that the threats were what had kept him silent for so long. Given the history of whistleblower facing threats and intimidation, it's no wonder that many believe Jerry's silence and the deletion of his tweet are not coincidental. The sequence of events, the rapid rise in visibility of his tweet followed by the sudden removal of his account and message, bears striking resemblance to other cases where individuals were threatened or silenced after revealing sensitive information about UFOs. In online forums, users speculated that Jerry might have received a warning similar to those faced by previous whistleblowers. Some suggested that government officials or representatives from a covert agency could have contacted him, either coercing him into deleting his tweet or taking control of his account altogether. Others argued that the threats might have come in more indirect forms, such as an email or phone call reminding him of his obligation to protect classified information. The sudden nature of his social media blackout leaves many unanswered questions, but it fits into the broader pattern of how whistleblowers in the UFO community are often suppressed. The repeated stories of whistleblowers being threatened highlight a fundamental fear within government and military institutions, the fear of disclosure. If whistleblowers like Jerry, Bob Lazar, or others reveal information that suggests the government has knowledge of or access to extraterrestrial technology, it could have far-reaching consequences. Such a revelation would not only challenge current scientific understanding, but could also lead to public outcry and demand for accountability. In addition, if it were confirmed that advanced technology exists but is beyond current engineering capabilities, like Jerry suggested in his tweet, it could expose a massive gap between the government's knowledge and its ability to act on that information. This would put immense pressure on those in power to explain why such knowledge has been kept secret for so long and what efforts, if any, are being made to advance or disclose this technology. In addition to the disturbing reports of intimidation and threats aimed at silencing whistleblowers, several individuals who claim insider knowledge have come forward with intriguing details about the advanced flight methods used by UFOs. These whistleblowers, ranging from former military personnel to aerospace engineers and defense contractors, have described technologies and propulsion systems that challenge conventional understanding of physics and aerospace engineering. In 2013, a man captured a series of photographs that would soon become one of the most controversial and talked about UFO sightings of the decade. Armed with his high-powered telescope, he was observing the moon, a hobby he had pursued for years. On this particular night, He witnessed and photographed a giant disc-shaped object hovering close to the lunar surface. The images, which he promptly uploaded to YouTube, sparked immediate interest, garnering thousands of views in a short time. But almost as quickly as the images went live, his YouTube channel was mysteriously deleted. The sudden disappearance of his account and the images led many to believe that the incident was not a simple case of technical difficulties, but rather a deliberate cover-up, raising questions about the true nature of the object he had captured and the extent to which authorities might go to suppress such evidence. The man had long been an amateur astronomer, fascinated by the mysteries of the cosmos. His interest in the moon had grown over the years, particularly because it has been the site of so many historical moments, and he believed it held untold secrets. In 2013, he set up his telescope, a high-powered piece of equipment capable of capturing incredible detail to scan the lunar surface. As he explored the familiar craters and lunar plains, something unusual caught his eye. A large, disc-shaped object appeared to be hovering near the moon's surface. It wasn't just a tiny speck or a shadow, but a clearly defined massive structure that stood out against the lunar landscape. The object had a smooth, metallic-looking surface, and its disc shape made it reminiscent of the classic UFOs that have been reported throughout history. He managed to take several photographs of the object, documenting its position and shape as it seemed to move slightly in his viewfinder. Excited and nervous about what he had seen, he knew these images were unlike anything he had captured before. Without wasting time, he uploaded the photos to his YouTube channel, which he had used to share his astronomical observations and discoveries with a small community of fellow enthusiasts. This time, however, the response was immediate and overwhelming. Within hours, the video showcasing the UFO near the moon began to go viral, attracting viewers from all over the world. People were intrigued by the clarity and detail of the images, unlike the blurry or indistinct photos that often accompany UFO sightings. The man's images showed a well-defined circular object that appeared much closer to the moon than any satellite or human-made object would normally be. As the views climbed, so did the speculation. Comments flooded in, with some users praising him for capturing what they considered undeniable proof of extraterrestrial activity. Others debated whether the object could be an advanced human-made spacecraft or some sort of new secret satellite. A few skeptics suggested that the images might be the result of digital manipulation or a trick of light and shadow, but the majority of viewers were convinced that he had captured something extraordinary. However, the man's excitement was short-lived. Within a day of uploading the images, his YouTube channel was suddenly deleted. The video, along with his entire collection of lunar observations, vanished without explanation. He allegedly attempted to contact YouTube support to understand why his account had been removed, but he received no response beyond generic messages about violating community guidelines. Confused and frustrated, he turned to social media, sharing his story and asking for help, but it was too late. The images had disappeared, and his YouTube presence was effectively erased. The abrupt deletion of his YouTube channel, combined with the nature of the content he had uploaded, led to widespread speculation that the incident was part of a cover-up. Researchers and UFO enthusiasts argued that the removal of his account was no coincidence. They believed that the giant disc-shaped object he had photographed was proof of either extraterrestrial technology or secretive human-made activity, and that authorities or powerful organizations were trying to suppress this information. Many pointed out that this was not the first time evidence of UFOs had mysteriously disappeared from the internet. Previous accounts of individuals uploading UFO footage only to have their accounts or videos removed had been documented before, fueling beliefs that there is a coordinated effort to hide such phenomena from the public. In this case, the clarity of his photos made it particularly compelling. Unlike the grainy, low-resolution images typically associated with UFO sightings, his high-powered telescope had captured what appeared to be a structured metallic object, making the possibility of it being a natural anomaly or trick of light less convincing. Supporters of this man's claim began to dig deeper, examining his history as an amateur astronomer and his previous uploads to verify his credibility. They discovered that his channel had been active for several years and featured dozens of videos showcasing his passion for astronomy, with none of his previous uploads being particularly controversial. This history made the sudden deletion of his account even more suspicious. If the man was not known for hoaxes or fabricating evidence, then why would YouTube delete his account so suddenly, especially when the images seem to be of such significance? The disappearance of the man's channel and the images of the giant disc-shaped UFO sparked intense debates within the online community. Some argued that the object he captured was evidence of an alien spacecraft observing or studying the moon. This theory suggested that the moon, long suspected by some to harbor alien bases or technology, could be a hub of extraterrestrial activity that governments and space agencies are trying to keep hidden. The man's images, therefore, could have been removed to prevent mass hysteria or the exposure of a long-held secret. Another theory proposed that the object was a secretive human-made craft, possibly part of a classified space program or military operation. Supporters of this idea speculated that the object could be a new kind of spacecraft or space station designed to operate in lunar orbit for surveillance or experimental purposes. If this were the case, the deletion of his video might have been a move by authorities to prevent sensitive information leaking to the public. Skeptics, on the other hand, maintained that the deletion of the account could have been a coincidence or an automated response to the sudden surge in activity on his channel. They argued that YouTube's algorithm might have flagged his video as suspicious due to the rapid influx of views and comments. Some also speculated that the object in the photographs could have been a digital glitch or a misidentification, but these explanations failed to satisfy many who were convinced of the photograph's authenticity. The case of the disappearing video and the giant disc-shaped UFO he photographed near the moon remains shrouded in mystery. The sudden deletion of his YouTube channel and the lack of a clear explanation have only fueled theories of a cover-up. While skeptics continue to debate the authenticity of the images, those who support this man's claims argue that this is yet another example of how evidence of extraterrestrial activity is being suppressed. His story serves as a reminder of how easily digital evidence can be erased or manipulated in the modern age, and it raises important questions about transparency and accountability when it comes to sharing discoveries that challenge mainstream narratives. Whether the object he photographed was an alien craft, a secret human-made vehicle, or simply an anomaly, the truth remains elusive. To this day, the mystery of the disc-shaped UFO near the moon endures, leaving both skeptics and believers to wonder what might really be out there. In the weeks following the mysterious deletion of the man's YouTube channel, the controversy surrounding his sighting only grew. As more people became aware of the photographs he had captured, a giant disc-shaped object hovering near the moon, many UFO enthusiasts and researchers began to compare his images to other well-documented UFO sightings from the past. One of the most striking comparisons was with the NASA Tether incident, a famous and controversial event from 1996 that involved mysterious objects captured on camera by NASA during a space mission. Observers noted that the object he had photographed bore an uncanny resemblance to the so-called Tether UFOs that were seen in the footage of that incident. The NASA Tether incident took place during the STS-75 mission of the Space Shuttle Columbia in 1996. The mission's primary objective was to deploy a tethered satellite system for scientific experiments, but things took an unexpected turn when the tether snapped and drifted away from the shuttle. While the event was initially viewed as a mission failure, what happened next drew the attention of UFO enthusiasts worldwide. As the broken tether drifted through space, cameras on board the shuttle captured footage of dozens of unidentified objects seemingly swarming around the tether. These objects, which appeared as bright, disc-shaped forms, were described by some as donut-like or circular with a distinct translucent quality. They exhibited unusual behavior, hovering and moving at various speeds, and many of them seemed to move in deliberate patterns, suggesting intelligence behind their movements. NASA dismissed the objects as ice particles, debris, or camera artifacts, but many observers remained unconvinced. For years, the footage of the NASA Tether incident has been scrutinized by researchers and UFO enthusiasts, who argue that the objects could not be explained by conventional means. The similarity between these objects and the one captured in 2013 was striking, causing many to speculate that he had captured evidence of the same type of UFO, or perhaps the very same objects that appeared in the 1996 footage. When comparing the photographs with the footage from the NASA Tether incident, several key similarities stood out. Both the 2013 object and the Tether UFOs share a distinct disc shape, appearing almost translucent or with a faint glow, as if they were made of some material or energy source unfamiliar to humans. The edges of these discs seemed smooth and rounded, giving them an otherworldly appearance. Furthermore, the behavior of the object in the 2013, as documented in his images, resembled the behavior of the objects seen during the NASA mission. In the tether footage, the objects appeared to emit or reflect light in a manner inconsistent with simple debris or ice particles, with some even seeming to pulsate or radiate energy. The man's photos showed similar characteristics, with beams of light emanating from the object, giving the impression of a controlled energy source or propulsion system. The fact that his object and the Tether incident UFOs shared these characteristics led to a surge of speculation among those who had followed the 1996 event. Many believed that his images might be further proof that these disc-shaped entities were not merely space debris or camera anomalies, but rather intelligently controlled craft. If the same type of objects had been observed in 1996 and again in 2013, it suggested a pattern of activity, possibly one involving surveillance or monitoring of Earth's vicinity by unknown entities. The resemblance between the 2013 UFO and the Tether incident objects only fueled the growing suspicion of a cover-up. The NASA Tether incident has long been a point of contention, with critics accusing NASA of downplaying or concealing the true nature of what was captured on camera. To those who believed the man's photographs showed the same objects, the abrupt deletion of his YouTube channel seemed like further evidence of an ongoing effort to suppress information about these unidentified entities. Some researchers suggested that the objects documented in both incidents were part of a coordinated surveillance operation carried out by extraterrestrial intelligence. The Moon, being a nearby celestial body with strategic importance, could serve as a base or observation point for these entities. The man's photographs, which clearly showed the object close to the Moon, aligned with theories that proposed the Moon has long been used as a hub for extraterrestrial activity, hidden from Earth's direct view. The idea of UFOs near the Moon is not a modern invention. In fact, reports of strange lights and objects around the Moon date back to the 19th century and even earlier. Astronomers such as Johann Hieronymus Schröder, a German astronomer in the 18th century, documented what they described as luminous points on the lunar surface. Others, like the famous astronomer Sir William Herschel, reported seeing glowing spots that they interpreted as possible volcanic activity. Although the technology of the time limited their ability to see the Moon in great detail, these early observations contributed to the fascination with lunar anomalies.